Good day to everyone joining us, and welcome to today's X Talks webinar. Today's talk is entitled How a Large Food Retailer Co-op Benefited from Standardizing Their Food and Beverage Label Production Process. My name is Vicky, and I'll be your X Talks host for today. Today's webinar will run for approximately 60 minutes, with time for a Q&A session with our speakers. This webinar is designed to be interactive, and webinars work best when you're involved. So please feel free to submit questions and comments for our speakers throughout the presentation using the questions chat box, and we'll try to attend to your questions during that Q&A session. This chat box is located in the control panel on the right-hand side of your screen. If you require any assistance, please contact me at any time by sending a message using this chat panel. At this time, all participants are in a listen-only mode. Please note that this event will be recorded and made available for streaming on xtalks.com. And at this point, I would like to thank NiceLabel, who developed the content for this presentation. NiceLabel is a leading global developer of label design software and label management systems that help companies of all sizes improve the quality, speed, and efficiency of their labeling while reducing costs. With the help of their label management system, organizations are able to digitally transform their entire labeling process. The result is a leaner, more agile operation that enables companies to respond more quickly to changing market conditions and requirements and get products to market faster and compete more effectively in the sectors where they do business. I would also like to thank Collamat AG. Collamat AG is a Swiss-based company located in Muttenz by Basel. Collamat has since 1958 developed and produced labeling machines and solutions to the home market, as well as having a network of partners worldwide who represent and sell Collamat machines and solutions in their local market. You can find Collamat in more than 40 countries and on 6 continents. And now I would like to introduce our speakers for today's event. Our first speaker is Peter Meyer. Peter is a product and sales manager at Collamat AG, a long-term NiceLabel partner in Switzerland. With over 20 years of industry experience, he has deep expertise in seamless integration of the next generation labeling system in business applications. He has been working with COOP for several years and recently helped them to digitally transform their entire labeling process. And our next speaker for today is Ken Moyer. Ken is VP of Marketing at NiceLabel, and he has over 25 years of experience as an internationally technology sales and marketing leader. He is an AIDC industry veteran with extensive international technology sales and marketing experience and diverse market and technology knowledge, including barcode, RFID, mobility, SAP, and label management solutions. And now, without further ado, I would like to hand the mic over to our speakers. They may begin when ready.
So first of all, welcome everybody to our co-op webinar. As you can probably hear, I've got a Scottish accent, so hopefully you can struggle and understand me. So first of all, I just wanted to take a 1 minute quick look at NiceLabel. This really is NiceLabel at a glance. We've been about for 25 years. We're recognized as an industry leader in the enterprise labeling space by IDC and also Gartner. And we're a full service solution provider, so we actually provide the full solution, the professional services, the software maintenance, support, etc., etc. We partner with companies like SAP, Oracle, Microsoft. In the food and beverage space, we also work with Wonderware and IFS. We actually provide 24/7, 365 support from our offices in the USA, Germany, Slovenia, and China. We have partners in 100 countries, 100 plus countries actually. Some of our partners deal with smaller solutions. NiceLabel tends to deal with more complex and larger solutions directly. We're an award-winning company. In fact, very recently, we just won the AIM Case Study Award. AIM basically is the Automatic Identification Association for our industry. So we're really excited and pleased with that. So that's basically NiceLabel at a glance. Now, what I would like to do now is to show you some of our food and beverage customers. We actually work across many industries, but food and beverage is a strategic industry for NiceLabel. We have many food and beverage customers that you can see on your screen. We've got small customers and we've got large customers. Co-op is a medium-sized customer. I think they've got about 600 printers, but we've got large conglomerates like Arla Foods who have standardized on NiceLabel globally. So here you can see lots and lots of food and beverage NiceLabel label management system customers. These customers have digitally transformed their labeling with NiceLabel. Two primary use cases that these customers do. One is manufacturing labeling, printing allergens and nutritions labeling in the factory. The other thing that we see these guys do is they basically take allergens and nutritions labelings to their stores. So for example, retail in stores, and we'll see that Co-op also did that. We also do lots of meat processing companies have standardized on NiceLabel. Now, what I would like to do is to introduce you to Collamat. Collamat is our partner that actually provided all of the services to Co-op. So I would like, Vicky, if you could hand over to Peter now.
Yeah, thank you, Ken. I would like to introduce Collamat. Collamat is a Swiss company which belongs to the Danish HM Group. We are located in Muttenz, close to Basel, and we are developing and producing labeling machines since 1958. We offer consulting and support for the integration of label printers and NiceLabel software solutions. Our labeling solutions will be developed by us and be produced in our factory site in Denmark. Besides our own labeling solutions, we offer as well label printers from CIB, Toshiba Tech, Sato, and Zebra, as well as other brands for direct marketing solutions. Our products and solution will be used in all markets, such as manufacturing, food, beverage, pharma, medical, etc. So let's start with the case study. First, I would like to explain who is COOP. COOP was founded from a merge of many consumer cooperatives in Switzerland 150 years ago. Today, COOP is the second largest retailer in Switzerland with more than 86,000 employees in total, from which 55,000 are working in Switzerland. In 2017, the COOP Group generated total sales of over 29 billion euros. This is 29 billion US dollars. And there are two main areas of business. The first one is retail, with more than 2,300 sales outlets and wholesales and production in Switzerland. COOP's Transgourmet Group operates cash and carry stores and supplies bulk customers all over Europe. COOP operates 10 production companies in 8 different sites in Switzerland. The production companies processes grain, baking bread, and baked goods, producing chocolate, rice specialties, vinegar products, mineral water, raw material, wine bottling, cosmetics, and cleaning agents. Let's talk about the printing environment on the production sites. There are more than 600 label printers for the whole group, and direct marking machines like continuous inkjet or thermal transfer coding machines in use. COOP used 7 different solutions to drive these machines using third-party software like Pagovin, CodeSoft, Bartender, etc. And some of the applications used native printer language or printed from SIP using SAP script or SmartForms. COOP requires to print product labels containing article information like price, weight, allergens, ingredients, and nutrition information. This will be printed in different sizes on mixed printing machines environment. The packaging labels containing more or less the same information as the product labels, but it's mainly used to identify the goods in the sales outlets or for wholesale channels. The pallet label containing SSCC code is used in order to automate the reading process at the receiver's goods entry. Here you can see some sample labels with highlighted allergens and customer information in 3 different languages. In Switzerland, there are 3 national languages: German, French, and Italian. The allergens could be also highlighted in color, but of course, then you require a color printer. The challenge is to take into account that all the production sites are different and need to be standardized. But in general, there are a lot of issues with the way the labels are produced. I'm sorry. First, there was no consistency in label formatting. That means each production site used different label layouts and different label sizes. They used multiple design versions because of the different kind of label printing machines, which are different in case of print solution and printer language. They had a heavy IT burden because IT is centralized at the headquarters with regional service center employees. You can imagine how many effort it is needed to support such an amount of different software systems. Then think about user training, which has to be organized for multiple software solutions. The time consumption to teach different software solutions is tremendous. And at least, last but not least, the quality aspects. Quality control required manual processes. There is no production log, no history of the created label designs. The files are stored in different locations, and there were no approval processes or change management. With all that situation, it was pretty clear that COOP required something special. A standardized label printing solution, which is offering universal and portable label templates, consistent label formats, which looks identically regardless which label printer you are using. The print solution must support multiple languages to cover Switzerland national languages, and it must be possible to drive the label printers as well as marking printers like continuous inkjet or thermal transfer printers.
And now we have a brief poll question for the audience, and that should be launching on your screen right now. And that poll question is asking, are your direct marking printers integrated with your MES systems? And the options we have here are yes or no, manual data entry of lot and expiration date, etc. via HMI. And if the audience could please get their answers in this first poll question, we'll be closing shortly. And once again, this poll question is asking, are your direct marking printers integrated with your MES systems? And the options we have here are yes or no, manual data entry of lot and expiration date, etc. via HMI. And it does look like majority of the audience has voted, so I'll go ahead and close that poll and share the results with everyone. So it looks like majority of the audience with 64% voted for no, and then 36% voted for yes. And with that, Peter, I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Vicky. Yeah, let's look how COOP standardized their labeling with NiceLabel. First of all, it was important that the printing solution is easy to operate for production users. Therefore, we decided to use mobile computers like the CN51 from Honeywell. This device were already been used in the sales outlets. In the first step, the user can simply scan the barcode containing the production order number from a paper, or he is able to enter it manually by the keyboard if necessary. In the next step, it is required to scan the barcode with the printer ID, because each printer has a unique printer ID all over the COOP group network. And last but not least, the user enters the quantity of labels required This information will be directly sent to NiceLabel integration system for processing. Right after this step, the printer is printing the required labels. Let's have a look on the solution overview. Customer SIP system is containing all the required data which is necessary to print on the label. The SIP MII means manufacturing integration and intelligence. This integration providing the data to a central Oracle database. And the NiceLabel document storage, short DMS, is centralized as well to store all the files which are used for printing, like label templates or graphics. On the next screen, on each production site, there is a local Oracle database, which will be synchronized from the central database in the headquarters. The NiceLabel DMS will be also synchronized with the built-in synchronization functionality. This is for security reason when there is a connection interruption between headquarters and production site. Because of this, each production site has its own print management solution, which can run independent from the central storage. So now COOP has its centralized label platform where all the material and production order data is stored centralized. All the required files, label templates, and graphics are stored in NiceLabel DMS. The built-in approval workflows with email notification are used to simplify the approval process. The files will be automatically synchronized by CTS to all production sites. The label printing process is triggered by mobile computers. It's today or next few months, it's planned to move to Android. Yeah. So that's it. I think, Ken, it's your turn.
Okay, thank you for that, Peter. So we actually just wanted to sort of just give you a brief look at the actual the solution. So the first thing that we're going to basically show you is the label designer, since that's basically the first thing people think about. So here you can see the label designer. This label designer was actually launched just over 2 years ago. It was completely re-architected from the ground up. It's built to look like Office 365. It's built to look like Microsoft Word or PowerPoint. You can see the ribbon. So it's completely next generation. And what we're really trying to do here with this label designer is to get IT out of the business of designing labels. We're trying to get IT out of the business of designing labels. We're trying to empower business users to actually make changes within minutes and to have an approval process, etc., etc. So this is a label designer. Hopefully you can see it just looks like Word, and it really is about empowering business users and getting IT out of the label design process. Now, the next part is what I call, or we call, the document management system, the DMS, the document management system, the DMS. And the DMS is all about quality control, all about quality control. So what we're trying to do here, or what we are doing here, is we're digitalizing the quality assurance process. And what that helps do is it helps you have less quality control people. And if what you achieve is you take cost, you take the labor cost out of quality control. You're also taking the people out. When you take the people out, you also take risk out. You take the risk of human error. And also what you're doing is streamlining the quality control process, so you do it faster. So you basically reduce cost, you reduce risk, and you do everything faster. And in summary, that's what the document management system does for you. It manages all of your approval process, etc., etc. Also, what it does is drives your traceability. It's where everything is logged from a traceability point of view, so that you can have centralized traceability. It traces everything, not just what you print. It traces everything about who changed what, when it was changed, why it was changed. So you've got full traceability of everything that's ever printed or everything that's ever changed. So that's the document management system. And again, the business benefits it brings you is you're streamlining the quality control process. You're taking labor cost out, you're reducing risk, and you're doing everything faster. Now, the next part is print. And what Co-op is doing is using the integration system. In Co-op's case, they're triggering print from those Android mobile RF guns. But they could also be triggering the print from SAP or from Wonderware or from IFS. We've actually got pre-built integrations to all of these systems, but you can also build your own integrations for anything else. We can integrate with just about anything. So this is the integration system. Now, one of the things that Co-op have also done, they're not just printing labels from the mobile devices in all of the factories. They've also rolled out our web printing system to all of the retail stores, and the reason why they're doing that is they wanted an easy way to actually print allergens and nutritions labeling inside the store. So Peter, I'm going to get you to come back in and just talk a little bit more about this, because this was like a sort of a extra that you did beyond all of the factories.
Yes, that's true, Ken, because there were as far as I know, 45 home bakeries which are COOP operating in Switzerland. That means in the bigger stores they produce some of the bakery products in the store itself, and therefore they used label printing before. But as I said before, with different kind of softwares, there was no common solution for that. And after we started the integration with the integration system, they asked for a solution for the home bakeries as well. And so we said, yeah, the solution is already there, we just have to use it. And so we set up this solution here, which containing data from a database as well, where how can I say, the people in the shop just select the product they want to produce labels for, and then they can directly print it out in the shop.
Thanks for that, Peter. Just to point out, to make clear, what you've got here is a centralized solution. So HQ manages all of the data centrally, and then the in-store bakeries actually use the application. So it's a centralized solution. It's actually, we call it the web printing system. So everything's managed centrally, and IT does not need to touch any of the retail stores. IT does not need to touch any of the retail stores. It's all deployed via the web. So this is pretty, quite exciting modern technology. And now we talk about the business benefits. Just bear with me 1 second. So basically, Co-op have now got accurate, consistent labels. They've got one system for all label printing. It saves Co-op valuable production time and prevents product reworking. Prior to NiceLabel, there was times when Co-op had to take labels back to production because the layout was incorrect. Rather than making multiple versions of label templates to match different printers, Co-op can now use universal intelligent templates that maintain the correct approved label format, regardless of the printer type or the printer resolution. So it's universal, portable, intelligent labels. Built-in approval workflows help prevent errors. NiceLabel also gives Co-op centralized control over the label change and approval process. A quote from the customer: "Now we have defined workflows to make label changes. Only specified user groups can make changes, so we prevent unauthorized changes, resulting in a more secure change workflow. The whole process is simplified and much easier, and we can even set the time and dates when we want the changes to be valid." That's from Didier at the Co-op. Meeting regional and regulatory requirements. Co-op also benefit from NiceLabel's allergens and nutritions functionality, something that we developed specifically for the food and beverage industry. This functionality helps Co-op manage allergens and nutritions information in multiple languages and makes it possible for Co-op to easily format the allergen information, displaying the information in underlined boldface. Also, it's also possible to actually highlight allergens in colour, although Co-op decided not to do that. Now, we've got one more poll.
Great, thank you for that, Ken. And that brings us to our final poll question for today, and that should be launching on the audience member's screen right now. And the question is asking, would you consider a single solution for label and marking printers? And the options we have here are yes or no. So if the audience could get their answers in, this final poll question will be closing shortly, and we are approaching the Q&A portion of this webinar. So if you do have any questions, feel free to send them in the chat box. And once again, this question is asking, would you consider a single solution for label and marking printers? And the options we have here are yes or no. So it does look like majority of the audience has voted, so I'll go ahead, close this poll, and share the results with everyone. And it looks like majority of the audience with 88% voted for yes, and then after that was 13% with no. And with that, I'll hand it back to you, Ken.
Yeah, sorry, I put myself on mute, I apologise. So this is a quote from the customer. Before we had 7 different interfaces to different printing solutions. Now we have one system, one single point of contact, and one interface. So this is a quote from the customer. Just to sort of summarise some of the key takeaways that we basically, lessons learned from Co-op. Number 1, unite all your labeling marking printers with one label management system. So you can have one system for your barcode label printers and your continuous inkjet printers. You integrate the CIJ printers with your MES system and not type in the lot or batch manually via human machine interface. Number 2, comply with national and regional labeling requirements. Number 3, get IT out of the label design business, empower the business users, increase agility, let them make changes in minutes or hours rather than weeks and months. In fact, there's one story I would like to share with you. We actually had a company tell us that they need to wait 8 weeks for IT to make changes in their SAP system, and every change costs them €3,000. So it's just it's slow and expensive. So get IT out of the label design business and empower the business users. Automate quality control, I'll specifically point that out, and that's the digitalization of quality control and the streamlining. Back to what we said about reducing the labor costs of the quality control, reducing the risk, and doing things much faster. And basically, what we've really seen here is standardization. Standardizing on one solution that IT can support. And what you've also seen is centralization, but still having the ability to be able to deal with internet being down, etc., at the local production facilities. So you've got centralization with synchronization. And final thing here before we open up to the questions is just some takeaways that you can find on nicelabel.com. We'll share these slides with you, and we'll also share the full Co-op case study with you after the webinar. So back to you, Vicky.
Well, thank you very much for that insightful presentation. And now I would like to invite our audience to continue sending in their questions or comments right now using the questions window for the Q&A portion of this webinar. We have received some questions, so I'll go ahead and get started with those. And the first question we have here is for Ken, and that is, can you integrate or read data tags directly from the PLC, or does NiceLabel need to read data from a middleware like Wonderware?
Yes, sorry. And we can integrate with most things. We can actually integrate with, for example, anything that's got TCP/IP or various other, even old RS-232 ports. And we can basically take structured data, unstructured data, and I actually know that we integrate with PLCs on a regular basis. Micho, I don't know if you wouldn't, but Peter, if you guys want to add anything to that.
Yeah, I think the example with COOP was just one of the possibilities where we have with the integration system. There are a lot of different kind of triggers you can use, as you already said, TCP/IP, web services, serial connection or whatever. So there is no limitation of trigger types where we can take over, and of course no limitation of the kind of data type which is provided on the trigger.
Perfect. Sounds good. Thanks for those responses. And the next question we have here is for Peter. And that question is, how does NiceLabel connect to the mobile computers?
Yeah, in case of COOP, we have a direct connection. That means all the mobile computers are connected to the customer's network. And so if we set up the information with production order number, printer ID, label quantity, we create a string where we directly send using TCP/IP or to the integration system.
Perfect. Thank you for that response. Another question here is, how is your allergen solution deployed across the co-op bakeries?
Yeah, there is a simple thing, because there are a lot of database systems which are not allowed to use format or do not offer formatting. So if you want to format the allergens with bold or underlined or italic or in color, this is an information you normally cannot put in your database. And what NiceLabel offers is that you completely separate that one. That means you have the text where the ingredients are without any formatting, and you have a separate table where all the allergens are stored in. So that means the integration system will take over the information from the ingredients and will check if some of the ingredients are stored in the table with the allergens, and then it will be highlighted as defined before. So that's very easy to set up.
And just to add to that, Peter, you know, you're describing the integration system doing the formatting of the allergens, and that's done within the production sites within the factories. But then we've got the web printing system that actually takes over and does the exact same thing in the stores, in the in-store bakeries.
All right, moving on to the next question we have here. Peter, this question is asking, what languages are the labels being printed in?
For COOP, as I already said, we use 3 languages, the Swiss languages, German, French, and Italian. But of course, there is no limit. If you have the information in multiple languages, then there is no limitation of how many languages you want to use for the solution.
Perfect. Thank you for that response. And the next question we have here is, why is there a central document management system and also decentralized DMSs at each factory?
Yeah, as I told already in the presentation, some of these applications are very critical, because you can imagine there is a food production, and if you are not able to print labels because of technical issues, then you will really run into a problem. And so the decision was to make these systems as secure as possible. So if we expect to get a connection cut between the production site and the headquarter, and you just take the information from the centralized storage, then you will be cut off, and so you are not able to print the labels. So that's the reason why we synchronize the information from the central storage to the production site, to make sure that if there is a connection shortcut, that you are still able to produce the labels on the production side.
Great, thank you for that response. This next question I'll leave open to Peter or Ken. This audience member writes in, can you connect a NiceLabel server directly to SAP without an intermediate server and send a trigger to print via NiceLabel?
Yes, you can. There's actually multiple ways to print from SAP. You can basically we can effectively print from SAPscript or smart forms. That's called RDI or XSF. But we actually have our preferred method where we basically have what's called an ABAP package. So it's something that you transport into the SAP system. It takes you about 4 seconds. And then you've got an API directly inside the SAP system that talks to our integration system. So it makes it really easy for you to print labels inside SAP, to get instant label printing, on-demand label printing, to get label previews inside SAP. So we've got a really easy solution out of the box that you transfer into SAP, and you're nearly ready to go. A little bit of custom ABAP needs to be done, but then you're ready to go.
Perfect. Thank you for that response, Ken. This brings us to our next question, and that question is, does NiceLabel support Android?
I'll talk a little bit about that, and then maybe Peter can add something. The answer is yes, because Co-op are actually using Android terminals. Basically, the terminal is just simply sending a trigger to the integration system via TCP/IP. So we don't just support Android, we support anything. We've also actually got a simple Android app on the Google Play Store that actually lets you also print labels. Peter, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think you must make a difference between which application is used to send the data to an integration system. Therefore, it doesn't matter. That could be a Windows system, Android, or whatever. But maybe the question was more than if the application can run on Android. And so far, these are all Windows-based programs. Yeah. But in case of web printing, of course, you can you will open that one with a web browser, but it's recommended to use Windows system in that case, of course.
Perfect. Thank you for that response. The next question we have here is for Peter, and that question is, does IT need to touch every PC to install the software?
I think it depends on the solution. If you want to use design software, Windows NiceLabel design software, you can install it locally, but you can install it on a Windows Terminal server as well. So if you want to use directly the designer, you need to install it locally, or you can install it on a server and connect via RDP or something. But for printing, it depends on the solution. When we say we want to print out from SAP, then it's not necessary to install anything from NiceLabel locally on the client, because the connection is made behind from SAP system to the integration system.
And the only thing I would add to that, Peter, is also with the retail and store bakery solution, IT doesn't need to touch that. The web printing system doesn't require IT to go to every bakery and every store. That's actually deployed via the web.
Yeah, that's true. It's very easy to integrate. Of course, maybe you need to install printer drivers to your desired printer. It could be that you need IT support because of the installation rights, but for the solution itself with web printing, there is no need for admin rights to install that.
All right, perfect. Thank you for those answers. The next question we have here is the Allergens web printing solution public cloud or private cloud?
Yeah, Ken, I think you can tell something for the very special day today.
Yeah, today was a very special day today because we actually launched the world's first public multi-tenant cloud solution, Label Cloud. But the answer to the question is the Co-op solution is actually private, but we've also got a public solution that's makes it really easy for smaller companies or even larger companies that don't want to do their own hosting. So we've got both public, private, or hybrid.
Perfect. Thank you for that response. And the next question we have here is, does Co-op have production and non-production environments?
Yes, that's true. Together with the LMS Enterprise license package, you receive a non-productive license package as well. This one is limited to only 10 printers, but for I would say non-productive reasons, that's good to use, because in this case you can prepare all the information before you spread it out on the production servers. That's possible to do, yes.
Perfect. And the next question we have here is, how exactly do you manage users?
This is very simple to do, because the LMS integration, not the integration, the LMS license package offers the possibility to define what exactly the customer or the user have for rights. There are a few standard groups, maybe for designers. You can put users into a designer group. You can put into a operators group. Operators can just print labels, but are not allowed to make changes on existing labels, or are not allowed to create new labels. And of course, when you talk about workflow system, then you have as well a group for the approval process, which are these people defined, which are responsible for approving a change on a file.
Peter, the only thing that I would like to add to that, what you've really just described there is role-based access, different roles, designers, approvers, operators, etc., etc. The other point I would like to make is that we also support Active Directory integration. So it means that you get one-click Active Directory integration. So if you're using Microsoft, Active Directory, all of those users are available inside the label management system. Then all you really need to do is just to allocate roles to those users. You don't need to go and make all of the users.
Perfect. Thank you for those responses. And the next question we have here is, does NiceLabel support printing directly from SAP ECC?
Yes, this is true. As Ken already said, there is an ABAP package available for LMS Enterprise. And this standard offers two kinds of connection triggers. One is RFC, so via HTTP, or web services called SOR. These are the two common ways to connect SAP with the integration system.
Great, thank you for that response, Peter. We do have a few more questions here. And the next question is, what kind of communication protocol do you recommend between SAP and NiceLabel? For example, SFTP or shared folders?
Yeah, that's maybe the same answer to the question before. The standard ABAP package offers RFC or SOR. So that's the standard. But of course, there are other ways you can define. Maybe you can create a XML export to a file, or using HTTP or whatever. So there is no real limitation how you can bring out the information from SAP. But we recommend in any case to use the standard ABAP package, because the API is already done, so you don't have to think about the integration, because it's working as it is, and that's less work to do using this package.
Great, thank you for that response. And the next question we have here is NiceLabel compatible with Intermec PX4i thermal printers?
Yes, I can approve that, because As you maybe know, there are around 5,000 printer drivers available from the NiceLabel website. So if you want to make sure that your label printer is able to connect, you can first check the NiceLabel website to see if there is a Nice driver available. If not, it may be possible that you have a special printer which has no NiceLabel driver. Then you can, of course, use the driver from printer manufacturer. So that means as long as you have a Windows driver, you are able to drive it. And especially for Intermex Peaks 4, I know that there are drivers for this one because this kind of printer is used in COOP as well. So there is no problem with that one.
Great, thank you. And that brings us to our final question for today. And that question is, how easy is it to integrate printing with other ERP or MES systems?
Ken, would you like to answer this question?
Yeah, basically. So as Peter has told you, we've got loads of pre-built connectors, SAP, Wonderware, IFS, etc. But we actually support many triggers, and we also support what we call filters. So what we can really do is we can extract and transform data. We can do this from structured data, i.e. XML, or we can even do it from unstructured data, i.e. legacy data, or even legacy systems. You can actually build your own integrations, and you can actually do most things without even doing any coding. We call it configure, don't code. But if it's mega complex, then you can do some coding. So we can integrate with just about anything. What we see in the food and beverage industry, for example, Wonderware, we've done a lot of Wonderware integration with Arla and HK Scan. We see IFS, because again we're talking process industry. So we integrate with many different types of MES, ERP, WMS, and other systems, PLM, etc.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for those answers. We have reached the end of the Q&A portion of this webinar. However, if you do have any further questions, please direct them to Ken, and Ken's email address is here, and that's ken.moyer@nicelabel.com. And thank you everyone for participating in today's conference. You will be receiving a follow-up email from X-Talks with access to the recorded archive for this webinar. A survey window will be popping up on your screen, and your participation is greatly appreciated as it will help to improve our future webinars. Now, please join us in thanking our speakers, Ken Moyer and Peter Meyer, and please feel free to share this webinar on LinkedIn by clicking the link in the chat box there. We hope you have found this conference informative. Have a great day, everyone.